Be me, 30-year-old female, always believed institutions are generally fair and just. Work as social worker, trust government agencies and legal systems. Consider myself feminist who supports equality and justice for everyone. Recently noticed that male friends and relatives seem deeply cynical about institutions. The system is rigged against regular guys like us. Can't trust courts, schools, media, or government anymore. Assume they're just being paranoid or influenced by conspiracy theories. But their attitudes seem based on personal experiences rather than internet theories. Start paying attention to how institutions actually treat men versus women. Discover systematic patterns that challenge my faith in institutional fairness. Visit family court with friend going through custody battle. Expect fair hearing based on parenting ability and child's best interests. Instead, witness systematic bias favoring mothers regardless of circumstances. Father presents evidence of being primary caregiver for 5 years. Mother admits to drug use and multiple arrests for domestic violence. Court awards. Mother primary custody because children need their mothers. Father gets every other weekend despite being clearly better parent. Best interest of child. Standard applied selectively based on gender. Realize family court operates on assumptions rather than evidence. Attend school district meeting about educational achievement gaps. Discover that boys are failing at every level but getting blamed for it. Boys need to sit still and focus like girls do. Male learning styles pathologized rather than accommodated. Boys medicated for normal energy levels and behavior patterns. Fidgeting and physical movement treated as mental disorders. Toxic masculinity blamed for male academic struggles. Educational system designed for female students while ignoring male needs. Witness University. Title IX. Hearing as observer. All male student accused of sexual misconduct without physical evidence. Believe women. Policy eliminates presumption of innocence. Accused student can't question accuser or present contradicting evidence. Standard of proof lower than traffic court, but consequences life-changing. Male student expelled based solely on female testimony. Academic career destroyed, while accuser remains anonymous and protected. Due process abandoned when men are defendants. Visit police station during domestic violence call response. Male victim of female assault arrested despite visible injuries. Primary aggressor policy automatically assumes male perpetrator. Female accuser claims self-defense despite initiating violence. Police trained to arrest men regardless of evidence or circumstances. Male victims told to handle it like a man rather than receiving help. Domestic violence resources exclusively designed for female victims. Attend workplace harassment training at friend's company. Policies explicitly favor female accusations over male denials. Harassment is defined by how the victim feels, not intent. Normal male behavior redefined as potentially threatening. Men guilty until proven innocent in workplace disputes. One female complaint can end male career without investigation. Harassment policies protect women while creating male liability. Visit emergency room during medical crisis with male relative. Identical symptoms receive different treatment based on patient gender. Male pain dismissed as exaggeration or attention-seeking. Female pain treated as serious medical emergency requiring intervention. Men tolerate pain better. Assumption denies proper medical care. Pain medication withheld from men, but freely given to women. Medical bias treats male suffering as less important than female. Observe media coverage of identical crimes committed by different genders. Female teacher sleeping with male student called inappropriate relationship. Male teacher sleeping with female student called rape and sexual assault. Female domestic violence portrayed as reactive self-defense. Male domestic violence portrayed as calculated abuse and control. Media narrative automatically sympathizes with women while demonizing men. News coverage reinforces gender stereotypes rather than reporting facts objectively. Attend legislative hearing about criminal justice reform. Discover sentencing disparities between male and female defendants. Men receive 63% longer sentences for identical crimes. She was influenced by boyfriend, excuse not available to male criminals. Female defendants get sympathy while male defendants get harsh punishment. Justice system treats male crime as choice, female crime as circumstance. Equal treatment under law doesn't exist when gender influences outcomes. Research college admissions and scholarship programs. Discover systematic discrimination favoring female applicants. Women in STEM programs while no support for male academic struggles. Scholarships exclusively for women despite male educational crisis. Male college enrollment dropping while resources focus on female advancement. Educational institutions prioritize female success while ignoring male failure. Affirmative action benefits women but discriminates against men. Visit social services office with friend applying for assistance. Male applicants face greater scrutiny and receive fewer benefits. Able-bodied men should work assumption regardless of circumstances. Female applicants presumed deserving while male applicants presumed lazy. Government assistance programs designed primarily for women and children. Male homelessness ignored while female homelessness receives priority attention. Social safety net has holes specifically designed to exclude men. Attend military recruitment event during career fair. Discover mandatory draft registration exclusively applies to men. Female citizenship includes full rights without military service obligation. Men must register for potential forced combat service. Selective service required for student loans and government employment. Women receive benefits without corresponding obligations or sacrifices. Military service burden falls exclusively on male citizens. Visit friend's divorce lawyer during asset division consultation. Learn how no-fault divorce systematically advantages women. Courts assume women deserve financial support regardless of fault. Lifestyle maintenance requires men to fund ex-wives permanently. Divorce industry profits from male financial destruction. Prenuptial agreements routinely overturned to benefit women. Marriage contracts only binding when they favor female interests. Observe homeless shelter policies during volunteer work. Discover services segregated by gender with unequal resources. Female shelters offer job training, counseling, and permanent housing assistance. Male shelters provide temporary beds with minimal support services. Homeless women treated as victims deserving help and rehabilitation. Homeless men treated as threats requiring supervision and control. Women and children first extends to social service priority. Attend medical conference about suicide prevention. Learn that male suicide rates are 4 times higher than female. Prevention resources focus primarily on female mental health needs. Male depression underdiagnosed due to different symptom presentation. Men don't seek help. Narrative ignores lack of male-specific services. Mental health system designed for female emotional expression and patterns. Male suicide crisis ignored, while female anxiety receives extensive attention. Research employment discrimination and workplace death statistics. Discover men suffer 95% of workplace fatalities. Dangerous jobs filled by men, while women work in safer environments. Workplace safety regulations protect everyone, except those in hazardous roles. Male lives sacrificed for economic production without recognition. Occupational death treated as acceptable cost of male employment. Gender equality doesn't extend to life-threatening job requirements. Visit bankruptcy court during friend's financial crisis hearing. Observe how divorce and alimony create permanent male debt slavery. Successful men reduced to poverty through family court decisions. Lifetime financial obligations that never decrease despite changed circumstances. Ex-wives remarry wealthy men while still collecting from previous husbands. Legal system creates permanent class of male financial servants. Debtor's prison exclusively applied to male support obligations. Attend university lecture about campus sexual assault policies. Discover investigations favor accusers while denying rights to accused. Male students presumed guilty without due process protections. Survivor-centered approach eliminates objective fact-finding, accusations sufficient for punishment regardless of evidence. Campus justice operates outside constitutional protections. Young men's futures destroyed by policies designed to protect women. Research healthcare funding and medical research priorities. Breast cancer receives more funding than prostate cancer despite similar rates. Women's health initiatives vastly outfunded compared to men's health. Medical research focuses on female-specific conditions and treatments. Male health issues receive minimal attention and resources. Healthcare system prioritizes female patients while neglecting male needs. Gender-specific medicine exists only for women. Visit Friends Law Firm, specializing in employment discrimination. Discover sexual harassment policies. Create different standards for men. Male behavior interpreted as threatening, while identical female behavior accepted. Workplace romance policies apply differently based on gender. Men fired for compliments that would be welcomed from women. Professional advancement requires men to avoid female colleagues entirely. Harassment laws protect women while creating male liability. Attend local government meeting about public safety initiatives. Violence against women. Programs receive full funding and support. Male victims of violence ignored in public safety planning. Domestic violence resources exclusively designed for female victims. Male shelters and support services receive no government funding. Public policy treats violence as gendered issue affecting only women. Male victimization invisible in government response programs. Observe child custody evaluation process during friend's divorce. Discover systematic bias favoring maternal custody regardless of circumstances. Tender years doctrine assumes mothers are naturally better parents. Fathers must prove exceptional circumstances to gain equal custody. Parenting ability, irrelevant when gender determines custody outcomes. Family court operates on stereotypes rather than individual assessment. Good fathers lose children while unfit. Mothers retain custody. Research educational discipline policies in elementary schools. Boys suspended and expelled at rates far exceeding girls. Zero-tolerance policies disproportionately punish male students. Normal boy behavior criminalized, while girl misbehavior excused. Boys will be boys, replaced with boys need medication and punishment. Educational discipline creates school-to-prison pipeline for males. Early intervention treats masculinity as behavioral disorder. Visit unemployment office with recently laid-off male friend. Discover job training programs prioritize women despite male unemployment. Non-traditional careers for women, while no support for displaced men. Government employment assistance assumes male self-sufficiency. Female job seekers receive counseling, while male job seekers get forms. Workforce development resources designed primarily for women. Male unemployment treated as personal failure rather than economic crisis. Attend congressional hearing about Veterans Affairs. Learn that male veterans comprise majority of homeless and suicidal populations. Veterans services underfunded while military families receive priority. Combat trauma treated as personal weakness rather than service injury. Male sacrifice for country ignored, while female military participation celebrated. Veteran suicide crisis receives minimal government attention or resources. Military service obligations imposed on men, while benefits go to families. Research reproductive rights and parental obligations. Discover men have no reproductive choices after conception. Forced fatherhood through deception or contraception failure. 18 years, financial obligation based solely on female reproductive decisions. My body, my choice doesn't extend to male financial autonomy. Reproductive rights exclusively benefit women while imposing male obligations. Biological parenthood creates legal slavery for men, but choices for women. Visit friend's workplace during sexual harassment investigation. Witness how accusations destroy careers before evidence examined. Male employee suspended immediately while investigation proceeds. Believe women. Policy eliminates presumption of innocence. Accused man's reputation destroyed, regardless of investigation outcome. Harassment allegations become weapon for workplace advancement. Professional destruction based on accusations rather than facts. Attend family therapy session with married friends. Observe how relationship counseling automatically blames male partners. Men need to do more emotional work, regardless of relationship dynamics. Female complaints validated while male concerns dismissed. Therapy assumes female victimhood and male inadequacy. Couples counseling becomes expensive way to shame men. Relationship problems attributed to male deficiency rather than incompatibility. Research false accusation statistics across legal contexts. Discover significant rates of false claims in rape, harassment, domestic violence. Legal system provides no protection for falsely accused men. Social media amplifies accusations while ignoring exonerations. False accusers rarely face consequences, while innocent men suffer permanently. Believe all women eliminates due process for male defendants. Accusation becomes conviction in court of public opinion. Visit civil rights organization during discrimination complaint filing. Discover anti-discrimination laws don't protect men from gender bias. Male victims of sexism have no legal recourse or advocacy. Civil rights movements focus exclusively on historically disadvantaged groups. White male discrimination considered impossible by legal definition. Anti-bias training teaches that men cannot be victims of prejudice. Institutional support available for everyone except straight white men. Observe corporate diversity and inclusion policies. Diversity means fewer men. Inclusion means excluding male perspectives. Hiring quotas favor women while discriminating against male candidates. Leadership development programs exclusively for women and minorities. Male advancement limited by diversity requirements favoring others. Workplace equality achieved by disadvantaging majority male employees. Inclusion policies exclude men from professional development opportunities. Attend public school board meeting about curriculum development. Discover educational content. Systematically portrays men negatively. History lessons focus on male oppression while ignoring male sacrifice. Literature curricula feature strong female characters and weak male ones. Social studies emphasizes patriarchal harm while ignoring male contributions. Educational messaging teaches children that masculinity is problematic. Boys learn to be ashamed of their gender through curriculum content. Male role models absent from educational materials and programs. Research government spending on gender-specific programs. Discover massive funding disparity favoring women's programs. Violence against women act while no corresponding protection for men. Women's health initiatives vastly outfunded compared to men's. Small business programs for women while men face discrimination. Government contracts require female participation but not male. Taxpayer money spent exclusively on female advancement and protection. Visit elder care facility during family members' medical treatment. Observe how aging men receive less compassionate care than women. Male medical complaints dismissed while female concerns receive attention. Elderly men treated as burdens while elderly women get sympathy. Nursing staff more attentive to female patients' comfort and needs. Age discrimination combined with gender bias creates double disadvantage. Male loneliness and isolation ignored in elder care planning. Attend university admissions information session. Discover affirmative action policies favor female applicants. Male academic achievement devalued in holistic admissions process. Leadership and service criteria favor female activities and interests. Test scores and grades matter less for female applicants. College enrollment crisis among men ignored while celebrating female success. Educational access restricted for men to create artificial female advantage. 6 months of systematic observation reveals pattern of institutional bias. Courts, schools, media, healthcare, employment all demonstrate anti-male prejudice, not conspiracy theory, but documented systematic discrimination. Institutions created during feminist activism designed to favor women. Equality movement achieve female advantage rather than genuine fairness. Men face structural disadvantages while being blamed for privilege. Learned that male distrust of institutions is evidence-based conclusion, not paranoia, but rational response to systematic unfair treatment. Institutions that claim neutrality consistently favor women over men. Legal, educational, medical, employment systems all demonstrate gender bias. Men receive harsher punishment, fewer resources, less support across all institutions. Structural sexism exists but targets men rather than women. Start questioning my own faith in institutional fairness. Realize I benefited from gender bias while believing in merit-based advancement. Institutional support available to me as woman, but denied to male colleagues. Affirmative action opened doors while closing them for men. My success partially due to discrimination against male competitors. Feminism created institutional advantages I took for granted. Now, understand why men feel betrayed by systems they trusted. Institutions promised equality, but delivered female supremacy. Men sacrificed for female advancement through discriminatory policies. Trust broken when fairness revealed to be gendered favoritism. Legal system treats men as guilty until proven innocent. Educational system treats masculinity as disorder requiring correction. Healthcare system treats male suffering as less important than female. Employment system discriminates against men while claiming diversity goals. Government programs exclusively benefit women while ignoring male needs. Media portrays men as villains while women as perpetual victims. Begin advocating for genuine institutional equality rather than female advantage. Challenge discriminatory policies that favor women over men. Point out institutional sexism when it targets men. Lose support from feminist organizations for acknowledging male discrimination. Apparently, equality only works one direction according to activist groups. Learn that institutions reflect feminist ideology rather than objective fairness. Systematic bias exists but targets men while claiming to help women. Male distrust of system is rational response to documented discrimination. Trust rebuilt only when institutions treat everyone fairly regardless of gender. Men don't trust system because system has proven untrustworthy to them. Betrayal of promise that merit and character would determine outcomes. Instead, gender determines treatment across all institutional interactions. Discovered that men's suspicion of institutions is completely justified. Not paranoid thinking, but accurate assessment of systematic bias. Institutions lost credibility through decades of discriminatory policies. Fairness became code word for female advantage and male disadvantage. System earned male distrust through consistent unfair treatment. Be me, a 27-year-old female, always assumed men had life easier than women, grew up hearing about male privilege and patriarchal advantages. Men get better jobs, higher pay, more opportunities. Never really thought about what costs might come with being male. Recently started paying attention to male experiences in daily life. Notice patterns that challenge my assumptions about gender advantages. Begin questioning whether men really have it as easy as I believed. Attend family gathering. Observe interactions between male relatives. Notice how differently society treats men versus women in various situations. Uncle mentions struggling with depression after divorce. Immediate family response is advice about manning up and moving on. When female cousin shared depression, got sympathy and emotional support. Clear double standard in how mental health struggles are received. Men expected to handle problems alone, while women get community support. Visit emergency room with injured friend. Observe treatment patterns. Male patients with identical injuries receive less pain medication. Nurses assume men can tolerate more discomfort without complaint. Female patients asked repeatedly about pain levels and comfort. Male pain seemingly less important or believable to medical staff. Men are tougher, they can handle it. automatic assumption that male suffering matters less than female. Attend college campus during orientation week. Notice how differently male and female students are treated by staff. Sexual assault prevention programs focus entirely on male perpetrators. Male students automatically viewed as potential threats requiring education. Female students positioned as victims needing protection and resources. Young men starting college already labeled as dangerous. Institutional messaging teaches them their problems to be managed. Visit courthouse during family custody. Hearing with friend. Observe systematic bias against fathers in custody proceedings. Good fathers losing access to children while unfit mothers retain custody. Children belong with their mothers. Assumption regardless of circumstances. Men paying massive child support while having minimal parental rights. Legal system treating fathers like walking wallets rather than parents. Financial obligations without corresponding parental authority. Attend job interview process at friend's company. Notice how male candidates are evaluated differently than female ones. Men expected to demonstrate ambition and aggressive career focus. Any sign of work-life balance priorities seen as lack of commitment. Women praised for same priorities as being well-rounded. Male candidates judged more harshly for identical qualifications. He should be the breadwinner. She deserves flexibility. Visit military recruitment office with brother considering service. Discover that men face mandatory draft registration while women don't. Male citizenship requires military service obligation. Selective service registration mandatory for college aid and employment. Women receive full citizenship benefits without military obligations. Men's lives potentially sacrificed for country, while women stay safe. Involuntary military service obligation, exclusively male burden. Observe workplace accident statistics and safety requirements. Men die at work at rates 12 times higher than women. Dangerous jobs almost exclusively performed by male workers. Construction, mining, logging, fishing, all male-dominated due to risk. Society expects men to sacrifice their bodies for economic production. Men's work literally means risking life and limb for paycheck. Workplace death treated as acceptable cost of male employment. Attend university lecture about educational achievement gaps. Discover that boys are failing at every level of education. Lower grades, higher dropout rates, fewer college enrollments. Male students labeled as problems rather than struggling learners. Educational system designed for female learning styles and behaviors. Boys medicated for normal male energy and behavior patterns. Toxic masculinity blamed for male academic struggles. Attend mental health awareness presentation at community center. Learn that men commit suicide at rates 4 times higher than women. Male depression underdiagnosed and undertreated by medical professionals. Men don't seek help. Narrative ignores lack of available resources. Mental health services designed primarily for female emotional expression. Male emotional needs dismissed or pathologized by healthcare system. Crisis intervention focuses on female victims while ignoring male suffering. Visit friend's divorce lawyer during consultation meeting. Discover how no-fault divorce laws systematically disadvantage men. Women initiate 70% of divorces but receive financial rewards for leaving. All men lose children, assets, and future income regardless of fault. Best interest of child, standard used to justify maternal preference. Divorce industry profits from destroying families and male wealth. Marriage has become wealth transfer system from men to women. Attend homeless shelter during volunteer service day. Discover that 70% of homeless population is male. Homeless men receive fewer services and less sympathy than women. Homeless women and children programs while men sleep outside. Male homelessness attributed to personal failure rather than systemic issues. Society views homeless men as dangerous rather than deserving help. Mental health and addiction services prioritize female clients. Research criminal justice statistics during sociology class assignment. Men receive sentences 63% longer than women for identical crimes. Male defendants presumed guilty, while female defendants get sympathy. She was influenced by boyfriend, excuse not available to male criminals. Criminal justice system treats male crime as choice, female crime as circumstance. Men fill prisons while women get probation for same offenses. Legal system demonstrates clear bias against male defendants. Visit Friends Medical Practice specializing in domestic violence. Learn that male victims of domestic abuse rarely seek help. Society assumes men can't be abused by female partners. He should just leave. Advice ignores psychological and legal barriers. Police arrest male victims more often than female perpetrators. Domestic violence services exclusively designed for female victims. Male abuse victims face ridicule rather than support. Attend workplace harassment training at Friends Company. Discover that harassment policies create liability for normal male behavior. Men fired for compliments that would be appreciated from women. Casual conversation reinterpreted as sexual harassment by female colleagues. Male networking and mentorship limited by accusation fears. Harassment training teaches men to avoid women rather than interact professionally. Normal workplace relationships destroyed by legal paranoia. Visit elementary school during volunteer reading program. Observe how young boys are treated differently than girls. Male energy and behavior pathologized as attention disorders. Boys punished for normal rough play, while girls get gentle redirection. Boys will be boys, replaced with boys need medication. Educational system treats masculinity as mental health problem. Male teachers avoided due to suspicion about motives with children. Young boys learning early that their nature is problematic. Research male health statistics for public health class project. Men die younger than women from preventable diseases. Healthcare resources prioritized for female-specific conditions. Breast cancer receives more funding than prostate cancer despite similar rates. Men discouraged from seeking preventive care through social messaging. Real men don't go to doctors. Cultural expectation shortens male lifespan. Male health issues receive less research funding and public attention. Attend family court during child support enforcement hearing. Observe how non-payment of support leads to immediate male imprisonment. Men jailed for unemployment or inability to pay impossible amounts. Deadbeat dad narrative ignores economic realities and systemic barriers. Women rarely imprisoned for violating custody or visitation orders. Court system treats male financial obligations as criminal matters. Debtor's prison exclusively applied to male child support cases. Visit Friends Law School during family law seminar. Learn about paternity fraud and its impact on men. Men forced to pay child support for children that aren't biologically theirs. Best interest of child used to justify continued fraud against fathers. Paternity testing discouraged or forbidden by family courts. False paternity creates lifetime financial obligation for innocent men. Legal system protects fraud when it benefits women and children. Biological fathers escape responsibility while innocent men pay. Observe military deployment patterns during base visit with friend. Discover that men comprise 85% of military deaths despite equal opportunity. Combat roles filled primarily by men due to physical requirements. Female soldiers protected from most dangerous assignments. Male lives sacrificed for national defense while women stay safe. Veteran services underfunded while military families get priority. Male sacrifice for country taken for granted rather than honored. Attend University Title IX. Hearing as observer. Witness how accusations against male students lack due process. Believe women, policy eliminates presumption of innocence for men. Male students expelled based on accusations without criminal conviction. Female accusers protected, while male accused face social destruction. Campus justice system designed to favor female claims over male rights. Academic careers destroyed by allegations that wouldn't survive criminal court. Visit Friends Startup during sexual harassment policy meeting. Learn how modern workplace policies create gender apartheid. Men avoid mentoring women due to false accusation risks, business travel and after-hours meetings segregated by gender, workplace relationships destroyed by liability concerns, professional advancement hindered by interaction restrictions. Innovation and collaboration suffer when genders can't work together naturally. Research reproductive rights and parental obligations. Discover that men have no reproductive choices after conception. Women control both pregnancy decisions and male financial obligations. My body, my choice doesn't extend to male financial autonomy. Forced fatherhood through deception or contraception failure. Men responsible for accidental pregnancies without decision-making power. 18 years of financial obligation based on female reproductive choices. Attend community college course about media representation. Analyze how men are portrayed in entertainment and advertising, fathers depicted as incompetent buffoons in family sitcoms. Male sexuality treated as predatory rather than natural. Toxic masculinity narrative dominates academic and media discourse. Positive male role models absent from popular culture. Young men learning to be ashamed of their gender from media consumption. Visit Friends Therapy practice specializing in men's issues. Learn about unique psychological challenges facing modern men. Male depression manifests differently than female but receives same treatment. Therapy designed for female emotional expression patterns. Men taught that traditional masculine traits are psychological disorders. Toxic masculinity frameworks pathologizes normal male behavior. Mental health profession treats masculinity as disease requiring cure. Observe dating culture among college students. Discover massive imbalances in romantic marketplace power. Women have unlimited options while average men face constant rejection. Dating apps create winner-take-all sexual economy favoring women. Men pay for dates while women evaluate them like consumer products. Emotional investment rarely reciprocated in modern dating culture. Young men learning that their romantic feelings are worthless. Visit bankruptcy court during Friends' financial crisis hearing. Observe how divorce and alimony create permanent male poverty. Successful men reduce to minimum wage existence through divorce settlements. Lifetime alimony obligations that never decrease despite changed circumstances. Men working multiple jobs to pay ex-wives who remarried wealthy partners. Financial slavery disguised as child support and spousal maintenance. Legal system creates permanent class of male debt servants. Attend workshop about boys' educational crisis. Learn that male academic underachievement spans all demographic groups. Reading scores, graduation rates, college attendance all favor females. Educational interventions focus exclusively on girls despite male crisis. Girls can do anything messaging, while boys get sit still and behave. Masculine learning styles pathologized rather than accommodated. Academic system designed to produce compliant workers rather than innovators. Research workplace death and injury statistics. Men suffer 95% of workplace fatalities across all industries. Dangerous jobs pay premium wages but cost male lives and health. Society expects male sacrifice for economic production. Workplace safety regulations protect everyone except those doing dangerous work. Male bodies treated as disposable resources for economic advancement. Women and children first. Mentality extends to workplace safety priorities. Visit Friends Medical Practice during Men's Health Awareness Month. Discover how little attention male health issues receive. Prostate cancer research underfunded compared to breast cancer. Male depression underdiagnosed due to different symptom presentation. Testosterone therapy stigmatized while female hormone therapy celebrated. Male aging process pathologized rather than supported medically. Healthcare system designed primarily for female patients and concerns. Attend family therapy session with married friends. Observe how relationship counseling automatically blames male partners. Men need to do more emotional work, regardless of actual relationship dynamics. Female complaints validated while male concerns dismissed as deflection. Therapy industry assumes female victimhood and male culpability. Relationship problems attributed to male inadequacy rather than incompatibility. Couples counseling becomes expensive way to blame men for everything. Visit friend's elementary school during parent-teacher conferences. Notice how male parents are treated with suspicion around children. Volunteer opportunities restricted for male parents due to safety concerns. Protective policies that assume male threat to children. Father involvement discouraged through institutional barriers. Male parenting valued less than female despite equal capability. Educational system treats fathers as potential dangers rather than partners. Research false accusation. Statistics across various legal contexts. Discover that false claims significantly impact male lives annually. Rape, harassment, domestic violence accusations often prove false. Legal system provides no protection for falsely accused men. Social media amplifies accusations while ignoring exonerations. Believe women, culture eliminates due process for male defendants. False accusers rarely face consequences, while innocent men suffer permanently. 6 months of observation reveals systematic male disadvantages. Legal system biased against men in family, criminal, and civil matters. Healthcare system neglects male-specific needs and conditions. Educational system treats male nature as disorder requiring correction. Workplace expectations sacrifice male health and safety for productivity. Social services prioritize female needs while ignoring male suffering. Cultural messaging teaches men to be ashamed of masculinity. Start questioning fundamental assumptions about gender privilege. Maybe male privilege narrative ignores massive male costs and sacrifices. Perhaps society demands more from men while providing less support. Biological male advantages come with social and legal disadvantages. Traditional male roles involve protection and provision at personal cost. Modern feminism eliminated male advantages while maintaining male obligations. Realize that being male in current society involves hidden sacrifices, constant pressure to provide and protect without reciprocal support. Legal vulnerability in relationships and family matters. Educational and healthcare systems designed for female needs. Workplace expectations that prioritize productivity over male well-being. Social messaging that pathologizes natural masculine traits. Cultural narrative that treats male problems as deserved or irrelevant. Begin understanding why men seem increasingly withdrawn and defeated. Rational response to system that demands everything while providing nothing. Male struggles invisible because acknowledging them threatens female victimhood narrative. Learned that male privilege is myth that ignores massive gender-specific costs. Being male means accepting responsibility without authority. Providing for others while sacrificing for self. Facing legal bias while being blamed for system advantages. Dying younger, working more dangerously. Suffering in silence. Society built on male sacrifice while denying that sacrifice exists. Now understand why men's rights movements exist despite feminist opposition. Legitimate grievances about systematic discrimination and bias. Not misogyny, but recognition of male disadvantages hidden by privilege narrative. Women benefit from male sacrifice while claiming oppression status. Learned uncomfortable truth about gender dynamics in modern society. Men face enormous costs for being male that women never see. Hidden sacrifices that make female safety and comfort possible. Male suffering invisible because acknowledging it threatens feminist worldview. Discovered that being male means bearing burdens while receiving blame. System designed to extract maximum value from men while providing minimal support. Understanding male experience requires looking beyond privilege narrative to see systematic ways society demands male sacrifice for female benefit.